In case no one's told you yet, Happy New Year's. You've probably already thought this, or maybe 100 people have already told you, but it's crazy to think that another year has already passed. Another great year of mistakes, failures, and maybe even some successes, but definitely more failures than ever. Yet, as soon as the clock hits midnight, we realize that those are the things of last year, and the problems that happened and the big things that really defined that year are now just a thing of the past, and we have an entire year ahead of us to decide and define who we're going to be, what we're going to do, and how we're going to spend our time. But before we get to that, how many people actually keep their New Year's resolutions? Well, according to a University of Delaware professor, they conducted a research that found that over 90% of people abandon their New Year's resolutions within the very first few weeks. This study was conducted last year and shows the results of the resolutions coming from 2023. And to be honest, the results are not that much of a surprise. And considering how many people are affected, you might not be surprised either. Because ultimately, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with your New Year's resolution. Maybe you didn't realize how hard it would be. Maybe you didn't realize all the other priorities that you had that week. And maybe there's outside circumstances that just make it too tough this year. Or maybe you're just lazy and you just got distracted with TikTok. Or maybe even this video. Regardless of your excuse or your reasoning, your resolution was well intended, and eventually you're just going to let it go due to some loss in motivation or a change in plans. At least the statistics say so. Well, you might be wondering what this might mean. Should I just let go of my 100,000 day Duolingo streak that I just failed? Should I try again? Is it even worth it? Or should I just let it go and just move on, as 90% of other people are just going to do the same thing I'm doing with whatever their goal is? This is when it becomes most important to think. Okay, I know this might not be a revolutionary idea, but bear with me. How often do you give yourself the chance to just think? Think about your goals, think about your life, think about what you want to do, and think about where you're heading. Now, don't get this confused with overthinking, because I know a lot of us already think about how important this exam is, how important this grade is, or what this other person might think of me. And in reality, I'm not talking about any of that. The New Year's isn't like high school, it isn't like college, and it isn't like life after that. You don't get to just cut through and start a new path, because more times than not, it's looking like it's going to be the same as last year. But you're giving yourself a chance to change something. And the only way to figure out what that change is and how to have the dedication and motivation to really follow through with that is to think. It's time to start thinking about what your New Year's resolution is going to be. And I know it's already past New Year's, but at the end of the day, that sort of goal, that sort of dedication, that sort of time to think, it isn't ever taken away from you. There's a Chinese proverb that I sometimes think about, and I think it's best for this scenario. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. Evaluate, think about your goals, and find the next way to improve.